Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank both the candidates for coming this afternoon. This will be the endorsement interview for North Las Vegas Ward 2. Ruth Garcia Anderson is not present. She is the incumbent. Just maybe it's a scheduling conflict, but I wanted to point that out. Also, I would like at this time to thank our sponsors, the Foreign Exchange, Stephanie Phillips, U.S. Senate candidate, Ron Quince, Congressional District number 1 candidate, Richard Cherchio, North Las Vegas City Council candidate. And I also want to thank Bob Coffin, who is our moderator. He has served as a Las Vegas City Councilman, Nevada State Senator, Nevada Assemblyman, and International Observer at the Nicaraguan elections. And I want to also thank our panel members. At this time, I am going to have both candidates. We'll get 1 minute. Please introduce yourselves, why you're running for this particular office, and why you are seeking our endorsements. Whichever one wants to start.
So thank you. So thank you so much for the invitation and for having me. I'm Lamont Riley. I'm a United States Air Force veteran. The reason why I'm seeking this office is because I have I'm a lifelong servant to our country, not only as a veteran, but as a current civil servant. I served as a safety specialist at the Bureau of Reclamation, currently serve for the Department of Veterans Affairs. I also have experience on Capitol Hill advocating for our fellow veterans when it comes to the PACT Act, it comes to fully funding the Department of Veterans Affairs. I've been very active in our community in North Las Vegas over the last 10 years, fighting the ongoing issue of illegal dumping, graffiti. As a result of my efforts, the city has actually created a beautification project program so that they can expeditiously remove graffiti and illegal dumping, where it used to just sit around for weeks at a time. So this will give me an additional opportunity, if I'm so elected, if it's God's will, in order to keep serving our great country and to continue supporting our fellow veterans as well. Thank you.
Positive PM, Robert Taylor, known as Twix. I'm running for the seat of Ward 2 in North Las Vegas because I am born and raised in North Las Vegas, and in particularly Ward 2, 409 Rossmore, Regal Estates neighborhood. Growing up as a son of 2 Teamster parents, my mother and father, my mother being the very first Black manager at Flamingo Hilton over the PBX department, I've watched the management from my mother's side. I watched my dad being professional from my dad's side. That led me to be an entrepreneur. In my entrepreneur journey, I've owned 6 barbershops, 5 salons, a tattoo studio, foreign exchange lounge, and other ventures. In that time period, I've hired over 300 people. When you are a business owner and know and have to hire people, you have to deal with people's situations when it comes to housing, rent, and all these things affect me as the bottom line. As we know, more than 50% of America are work for small business owners, and I represent small business owners. I represent the people. For the last 20 years, past 20 years, I've been a big vessel of the community. All around Las Vegas, not just North Las Vegas and not Las Vegas, but Henderson also, doing events, putting people together, not because of my fraternity, which is amazing, not because of a church or nonprofit, because out of my heart and out of my beliefs of making a better community, and that's what I've done it. For instance, I have an event this Saturday coming up that I organized with the Bowdoin Area Command, with the police officers, with veterans and first responders and community leaders to play together to show the community is involved with first responders, because I've been using my platform as being a promoter to show that we can work together. And me knowing if I were to be in the position of being councilman, the ideas I have, I'm a great team player, but I'm also a leader. And that's what we need right now in North Las Vegas.
Okay, thank you, candidates. Also, I do apologize to the candidates and the panel members. I did not explain. So I am the timekeeper, so when you get the yellow card, it means you got 15 seconds to wrap up. And red, I didn't explain.
I thought the light was in your face.
Yeah.
I'm like, the light must be in his face. We must do better here.
I didn't explain that. So, okay. So Jim Jonas, Director of Veterans of Politics, and now timekeeper. So here's my question, and it's to both candidates. As a member of the city council, one of your responsibilities is to vote for or against an appointment of a city manager who will be in control of the day-to-day operations of your city. What qualifications are you looking for? And please be specific. I'll go ahead and start with you, Mr. Riley.
Thank you so much for the question. For a city manager, I would, first of all, as someone who's actually looked at hiring people within the federal government, I would look at someone who actually has experience. I think also looking at their resume, the time that they've actually spent in that position, where they've actually done it, the different types of trainings that they had as well are things that I would look at as well. And I'm sorry, could you repeat the question if you don't mind, really quick?
Oh, I just want to know what qualifications that you're looking for in a city manager, because as we know, North Las Vegas, the way city government is set up, as mayor is just one vote, but the whole city council will appoint a city manager, and they run the day-to-day operation. So I just want to know the qualifications you're looking for.
So, yeah, thanks so much for repeating that. So, again, I would just follow up by saying I would look at their education experience to be some of the top qualifications for that. Thank you.
With me, I keep it simple. The city managers run the city pretty much. So I can't say I can look at their past work as being a city manager, because you don't get the job until you get the job, right? So I have to know, when it comes to running the business, can you run a business? This is big money. Can you run this business? Can you delegate? Are you good with that? Your PhD is good too, but a lot of people go to class for business but never owned a business. So with that, let me see what you've done first. Let me see your qualification when you talk to me. As a business owner, I can vet a business owner because I know what it takes. And the city manager is like a business owner times 10, because you're dealing with the community. Your decisions affect all of us. And I want to see if you're compassionate about the city you live in also. And I feel like you should be a part of the city that you want to manage.
Andre Haynes, Armed Forces Chamber. This question is to both of you, and either one of you can answer first. Name one issue in Ward 2 and explain how you would address it.
Okay, go ahead.
Thanks, Robert. So nice. Well, I'll just start with one of the ongoing issues in our community that is very common but rarely discussed, and one that I've been very proactive in over the last 10 years, and that's illegal dumping. Over the last 10 years of me actually residing in North Las Vegas, it's been so common for me to actually see mattresses, furniture, you name it, landscaping debris put around different areas. It's one that it impacts the community, our children, their safety, our property values, and one that I've been very proactive in addressing. Thank you.
One of the big issues to me is the Windsor Park neighborhood. This neighborhood I used to go to all the time. The houses are sinking right now as we speak. You have people who are houses, their back fences are sinking. I walk the neighborhood. I know the neighborhood. I've talked to Mrs. Walker, one of the oldest people who live there, the elders there, who's pretty much the patriarch of the neighborhood. And she's told me that she hasn't received the help she's supposed to get. So that's one of my things. That's a tough problem that nobody has tackled yet. Now, I'm okay with tough problems. Business owners like tough problems. I come up with solutions and resolutions.
Patsy Brown, Armed Forces Chamber. This question is for both of you. As a candidate for City Council, explain your understanding of the role of a City Council member in promoting economic development.
So when it comes to economic development, my counterparts have good idea because I'm planning commission. But when it comes down to it, when I've seen from the city council meetings, people propose their idea. They say what they're going to do when it comes to building these warehouses and these different businesses and how it'll affect the community. My big thing is having the community there and have input. Too many times, the city council meetings, there's 5 people in there, and 4 of them are developers and one's a lobbyist. To me, that's a problem. So to me, I need real input from real people from the community to get their ideas. That way we're all on one same page, and it promotes the business of the economic development of what they're building.
Thank you so much for the question. I am a sitting planning commissioner over the last 3 years. As a city councilman, I believe it's going to be important to do some of the same things I've done over the last 3 years, sitting as planning commissioner, which is advising planning and zoning, voting, reviewing proposals in our community. To date, over the last 3 years, for instance, I've voted on countless projects that have added to $2 billion in construction permit value investment in our community. The previous 2 years, it was about $1 billion. As you guys know, North Las Vegas is growing exponentially. I'm glad to say that I've been a part of that. And I think that going forward, as a city, if elected as a city councilman, I'll continue to support those initiatives that are going to create economic development opportunities along with jobs, which we've created 60,000 jobs in the past 3 years alone in North Las Vegas in our community. Thank you.
Okay, I want to apologize to Mike Kelly. He asked me to start on that side, and I forgot. So, Mike, if you want to ask the next question, or Barb, either one. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, yeah. Sorry, Mike. I forgot.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Thanks for being here. My name is Jeff Crampton, and I'm here today representing Veterans in Politics International. My question for you guys is that based on the widely accepted premise that public safety is the most important element to the level of quality of life that residents enjoy, the easy part is, on a scale of 1 to 10, what level of support for first responders are you going to provide if elected to office? And the second part is, and what will that look like from you?
Not only will it be level 10 support, right? But when I was running for mayor, I talked to different police officers and they told me things that it would make better, certain things that would happen make better for them. They want a better test, a health test. Our police officers in North Las Vegas have more heart attacks than anybody else for the city of North Las Vegas, but they receive the same test everyone else gets. They would like to have a test that's more vigorous when it comes to their hearts because they're dealing with more stress. They heard the pushback of saying, well, if we do what's good for the goose is good for the gander, but technically when it comes to something like that, that's not good for the goose, and I will be on that.
Thank you for the question. As a criminal justice major and someone who's has several police officers in my family, I would say it would have to be a 10 as well. Public safety is a major issue in our community. Just recently at the Planning Commission meeting, we had several residents who were voicing their concern about the recent shootings around North Losey Road. I would definitely try to support them by advocating for any additional resources we can, training, health benefits, continue being an advocate for them as I have for collective bargaining. So that way they can get the PPE that they need, get the funding that they need, or whatever else that they need to support them so that they can do their very difficult job in our community. I would also offer that as of right now, I know that we are below the average FBI recommended number of police officers in our community. So with the development that we're having, we're now seeing North Las Vegas start to advertise for police officers, which is a good thing. Some people are scared of the development and they're fearful of it, but that's the only way that we're going to generate enough revenue in order to hire more police officers. Thank you.
Hey, gentlemen, Matthew DeFalco, Nevada Democratic Veterans and Military Families Caucus. Thanks for being here. Thanks for stepping up to serve. North Las Vegas has a really active and established veterans community. My question is, what did you do in terms of involvement in the veterans community in North Las Vegas before you filed for office?
Before I filed for office, as soon as the Veteran Resource Center opened up, I donated couches there because my brother is a Marine, passed away. He got killed down the street, 5 shots in the back, unsolved mystery. So with that, you know, I have a heart for veterans, not because it's my brother, but because I looked up to my brother and I know what he dealt with. And because of that, anytime I can help anything with a veteran. At my barbershop, for years, I do free haircuts for veterans on Veterans Day. I do a lot of things. A lot of my barbers are veterans. One of my barbers just passed away about 6 months ago, and he's a veteran. And he was seeking help, other type of help. But yes, I'm really involved, and I'm not here for no show. This is really who I am.
Thank you again for the question. As a United States Air Force veteran, I would offer that in addition to going to Capitol Hill to be an advocate for our fellow veterans, again, for the PACT Act, for our full funding of veterans programs as well. I've also been involved in our community over the last 5 years with homeless veteran placement in our community. That's another thing. I've gone to Capitol Hill, sat with Senator Cortez Masto on her staff, asked her to come with me to U.S. Vets so that she can actually see the problem that I see when I'm actually out in the community. So I've also been to the Veteran Resource Center and serve as an advocate within the VA in my capacities on a daily basis for our fellow veterans.
Hi, Barbara, representing Veterans in Politics today. What are your plans to involve the residents to get them more involved in the decision-making here? You know, what's your plan to?
So me being a professional promoter for over 2 decades, I promote. I move the crowd. I get people to go places. So with that, I had a thing called Tillar Talks during my campaign to let people know about certain things in politics. With that, if I were the councilman, it wouldn't be 5 people at council meetings anymore. It would be the community there. And then when you have the community there, you get a different result because now people understand what's going on. And that's what I would do. I'll use this big bullhorn I have. I have over 100,000 followers on my social media across the board. Being born and raised, and my family's out here, people know us. My sister's one of the biggest realtors and mortgage people out here also. So we have a list already that is very big.
Thank you for the question. That is one of our challenges. I'm an HOA director, been involved in the community, as I said, being a planning commissioner, trying to get the buy-in from the community, and also education is a part of that, to let them know, and that's what I've been working on now, to let them know how important local politics are. Because the decisions that we are making as local elected and appointed officials, as myself, impact the constituents on a daily basis, such as all of the new restaurants that we have on Craig Road, we now call it Restaurant Row. All of the industrial and commercial development we have. Now North Las Vegas is becoming an epicenter for distribution centers, if you guys have noticed as well. So just kind of giving them the buy-in, so what they see, they can kind of relate to how important it is. Thank you.
Mikey Kelly, Nevada Democratic Veterans and Military Families Caucus. North Las Vegas is a growing city. It's fastest growing city in the valley. It's also one of the largest cities in the country. However, it is lacking, other than the VA hospital, it has an antiquated hospital, North Vista, that does not meet the needs of the population. We do not have, and there's one there's land developed, but nothing's been built as far as a medical center. We are lacking basic quality life services. There's no car dealerships. There's nothing revenue generating such that increases our consolidated tax revenue. So the city doesn't bring in as much consolidated tax revenue as, say, Vegas or Henderson. What are you going to do as council members to increase our consolidated tax revenue and bringing services to the community? Because, yeah, we're growing and we've got a lot of warehouses, but we don't have supportive services for the 280,000 plus citizens in the city.
Great. Thank you so much, Mr. Kelly, for the question. I think that's an amazing question. One of the things I would offer is that we already have some healthcare infrastructure coming that I've helped support on. We have a new medical center component, if you will, that's going to be built on Cary, just off of MLK. We also have a Helios project coming just west of the VA Medical Center, a UNLV extension on the northeast quadrant of 215 as well. So that's going to be a medical district. We do have that. In addition to trying to generate the revenue for that, great question. I've already started to reach out to different vendors and operators, such as Trader Joe's, Porto's out of Los Angeles County, to ask them to talk about North Las Vegas, our growth, our exponential growth, and asking them to look into investing in our community. And if I'm elected, I'll continue to do the same thing with other operators to help generate that revenue that we need.
You build it, they should come. I build businesses. That's what I do. It makes sense. North Las Vegas has been the little brother of Las Vegas forever. I'm tired of that. I'm fighting for us to be the big brother. And because of that, you got to have innovative ways in thinking. When we did all these warehouses with Amazon, that was our time to put in place. Like, hey, okay, you can have your warehouse, but have a stadium also. I went to Henderson and watched a basketball game, Long Beach State play, where they transformed that outdoor pavilion to a stadium. And to watch that, to see, like, I'm watching a college basketball game in Henderson right now, and we can have the same thing in North Las Vegas. I just feel like nobody's pushing that issue. And maybe because we don't have enough people who are entrepreneurs, but I'm an entrepreneur, and I will push that issue, and I'll make sure we build it, and they will come.
Gentlemen, before I get started, I'm going to tell you I'm really enjoying your matching contrast of presentations. I wish you both very good. In any venture that you do, I think you should be working together, whoever wins this race. Now, this is my question. My name is Gary White. I'm a representative of the Nevada Democratic Veterans Caucus. I'm thinking about the main thing that we need here is public transportation on a grander scale, i.e. a light rail system, not just in North Las Vegas, but throughout the valley. This will serve every community in every venture that we do. You were talking about warehouses and businesses in North Las Vegas. How do your employees get there? Everybody can't afford a car. All these different things. Would you support a conglomeration and a cooperation with all the other towns and townships in the valley to develop some type of light rail system that'll serve everybody?
Not only will I support it, but it has to make sense, of course. as in money, right? But now I want to support it on Vox Channel. If you go on YouTube, you'll see how they have studies to where the best cities have the least cars. The best cities have the least cars. So that being the case, we know we have to move forward as Las Vegas, especially North Las Vegas. For some reason, once you get to Aliante, riding the bus gets harder. It's less bus routes. Why is that? Right? I had somebody, hopefully a future constituent, complain to me about that. I never thought about that because I don't ride the bus. So because of that, it's all about listening and coming with conclusions, resolutions. But yes, I would support it. Yes, sir.
Thank you for the question, Mr. White. Yes, I will most definitely support that idea. I will offer it as a planning commissioner. One of the things I look at before voting on a project is the actual current bus routes with our RTC, with our partners. That's something that planning and zoning actually looks at. I remember specifically on one project for a senior citizens apartment, specifically working with the developer to get a cutout. So it is true that we do have a good transportation system for public transportation. No, everybody does not have vehicles, and we definitely need to consider that going forward with the current growth and projected growth of North Las Vegas. Thank you.
Mel Tillar, Nevada Democratic Veterans Military Family Caucus. Mr. Taylor, in your marketing, you talk about change. So, and this question is for both of you. What change will you all work to facilitate if you become the councilman representing Ward 2?
T and A. First, the T means everybody knows what we're doing, okay? Like, the A is for accountability. People need to know what we're doing as a city. And the big change is letting people know to come to these planning and zoning and commission and council meetings to see what we're doing, to talk to them, to where we're not just sending emails out to you once a month telling you what we've done. I want you to be a part of this so you can give us our input. Every public servant is working for the people. And that, to me, that's a big problem, not just North Las Vegas in general. We're working for the people, so we have to have the people involved. That's the biggest change. Once that change happens, all these other great questions you guys are asking will happen. It doesn't happen unless people are involved. If people are not involved, nothing means anything.
Thank you, Mr. Tillar, for that question. I would also just agree that the education portion of this is very important to the people. We want to have more involvement, more people learning about local government, as Mr. Taylor said. In addition to that, I think that some of the issues that some of our constituents have talked to me about are just the crime that we're talking about, or they're concerned about. They're concerned about traffic. I recently just did a referral for a traffic study along North Losey and East Deer Springs for some constituents. They're also concerned about other things that I have experienced with on Capitol Hill, such as rising prescription drug costs, for instance, the rising cost of healthcare. So those are things that I've talked to constituents about and things that I would work to change if elected as city councilman for the 2nd Ward. Thank you.
The T was for transparency. I'm sorry, I got blinked. The T was for transparency, A is for accountability. I'm like, I didn't say what the T was.
All right. All right. Thank you.
Oh, no. Transparency and accountability.
All right.
That T and A.
Thank you, candidates. You'll now both have 45 seconds for a closing statement. Please make sure you include your point of contact information as well. So, Mr. Riley, if you want to go first.
Thank you. I would just, first of all, just thank you all for the opportunity to come before you for this endorsement. I've been really looking forward to it. As I said, I'm a United States Air Force veteran. I joined the military back in 1996, straight out of high school with the idea that I was going to serve our great country, pursue my education and travel, all of which I was able to do. Once I got out of the military, I was able to go work for PayPal, an eBay company, for several years before I came to Las Vegas following my parents, who retired from General Motors, 2 proud UAW union workers. And I immediately applied to get back into the federal workforce. Initially hired at the Lower Colorado Dam's office, working for Hoover Dam, Parker Dam, and Davis Dam, respectively. Again, I just appreciate the time. My contact information, I could be reached on Facebook at Lamont Riley for North Las Vegas City Council, 2nd Ward. Thank you.
Once again, Robert Taylor, known as Twix. I I have a lot of titles. I'm the Urban Chamber of Commerce. I'm on the board of NAN Action Network. I'm the vice chair at Canyon Springs High School. I can keep going titles and titles and titles. But this is for you, period, and everybody watching. There's only two types of people in this world: people with a purpose and people with an angle. People with an angle will never be satisfied. People with a purpose will stay on their purpose. And it's easily you can know who the person is when you talk to them. We all might have a purpose, but I know I have a purpose. And have people in position who have a purpose. Because when people have a purpose, they don't have an angle. When people have a purpose, they do what they say. Can nobody run them? I cannot be a puppet. I know who I am. I know what I am. I know my parents raised. Robert Tillar. You can reach me at my cell phone if you want to, 702-591-2608. And that's his phone right here. On my website, roberttaylor4nevada.com. On Instagram, just Google me.
All right. Thank you, candidates. I appreciate you very much for coming this afternoon. I also want to thank our sponsors, the Foreign Exchange, Stephanie Phillips, U.S. Senate candidate, Ron Quince, Congressional District No. 1 candidate, Richard Cherchio, North Las Vegas City Councilman, and our moderator, Bob Coffin. That will conclude our endorsement interview for North Las Vegas City Council, Ward number 2. Thank you.
Thanks, y'all.